Hello and welcome to the demo of the hourly cost calculator. Today we're going to show you a little bit about how this application works. Basically, if you have a company with employees, sometimes it's very difficult to know the actual hourly cost of that employee. While we know the salary or hourly amount, often we don't realize what the actual hourly cost is based on all the other associated employee costs. And this Excel application will help you determine that exact amount down to the penny. Okay, so let's get started. First, we have company information, and here we can enter all of our employer paid taxes. These are the taxes that we owe as an employer to our employees, to the federal government. So here we have set up three taxes for state and federal, and you can enter 4 additional taxes, whether it's state or local or any other taxes you see fit. Basically, we enter the percentage, and if there's any kind of a base limit, then we would enter that here, and then the maximum cost is automatically calculated. Next, we would have the employee defaults. When we create new employees, these are the default benefits that will automatically be set up with any new employees. So if every employee gets quarterly health insurance paid for them, you would go ahead and put that in here, or any other specific benefit that you would want as a default on any new employees. And here you can basically enter whichever name you want, the amount, and then the frequency of that benefit. The total cost of that benefit is then automatically calculated on an annual basis. The next area, we have the miscellaneous employer costs and default settings. Here, if we're contributing to a 401k, we can put that default percentage in here, and as well as an annual limit if there is a limit to those 401k payments. Also, if new employees are taxable, we would set this to default. Once we can change it per employee, but here's the default setting. As well as the workers' compensation modifier rate, you can check with your insurance company. Sometimes it's a bit lower than one, sometimes a bit higher. We have it set default. Also, if we're going to use the estimated overhead amount, we can see how this overhead applies to the hourly cost of each employee here. We would go ahead and enter that amount here, and we'll show you how that works a little bit later on. The company information, once entered, can all be hidden, as this is not something that's updated all the time. Simply go ahead and click the hide, and then that'll hide the company, or we can click show, and it'll show the company. Next, we have the employee details section. Basically, this is the information in which we can add or edit any additional employees. Employees can be selected from the list below, so simply selecting an employee will display all of their detailed information above, so we can go ahead and change it. Now let's go ahead, and if we want to enter a new employee, we can do it here. Simply click new, and then we can enter a new employee, Sarah Smith. And we can choose between salary or hourly, so we'll go to her salary or hourly, and then we put in the work week hours and then the hourly rate. So let's say we're going to pay Sarah $20 an hour, and automatically the annual amount of that salary is calculated based on the work week hours. Here we have the workers' compensation rate for that employee, so let's go ahead and enter that at, say, $9.50. That would be per $100 of salary. That is also automatically calculated at an annual amount of $3,952. Here our 401k deductions are set at 2%, and if you remember, that's what we have set our default section here. So that's why we can still change from here if we want to pay less, but it's set as a default if we like. Here we can enter any liability insurance or other insurance here. Next, we have the employee paid leave hours, and this is the amount of paid vacation, sick, holiday, or any other hours that you give to an employee. So we'll go ahead and set this up for a full week of vacation at 40 hours, and then 3 days of sick at 24 hours, and perhaps another 5 days of holiday. We're feeling generous. So go ahead, and we have a total paid of 104 hours. Next, we have employee benefits. We have that health insurance, which is set as default from the company information here. But we can also enter any other type of benefit. So let's say we'll go ahead and add in fuel reimbursement, and we'll set that at to 100. And then once again, we can choose any frequency we want. So we'll go ahead and set that monthly. And then we can add in another meals and meals, we'll just leave it at meals, and let's say that's at $50 a month as well. So we can change that to monthly as well, and that's automatically calculated. Next we have taxable. This is also default if this particular employee is let's say a 1099, or we can just simply click here and the taxes will not be applied. But for now, for our purposes, we'll go ahead and select taxable. And then we can set an hourly billed rate. Let's say we are charging $50 an hour to our customer. This will automatically calculate the profit. And as you can see, our actual hourly cost is $29.15. So we have an hourly profit of $20.85 based on the hourly billed rate and a profit rate of 42%. Now, if we want to incorporate overhead, overhead is applied to all the employees. So the more employees you have, the more the overhead gets distributed. Now, overhead can be anything, any fixed expenses like lease, utilities, or any specific expenses that don't go into any specific jobs or specific employees. Estimated overhead amount, let's go ahead and set that to $50,000 so we can see how that applies. And as you can see, our hourly cost went from $29.15 all the way to $40.87 with a profit with overhead of $9.13 and a profit percentage of 18%. We'll go ahead and save this employee now. And once saved, Sarah Smith will then appear down here. As you can see, we'll hide the company information so you can see a little bit better. And so if we want to make an edit, we can simply just edit Sarah Smith and change her hours and click update. So it's that easy to update employees. We can delete, add new, very, very simple. We can also print this list as well, and if we want to locate a specific employee, we could just enter their name here, and that will filter out any other names. So if we have a large list of names, it's very easy to find. That's pretty much it. We can also sort by names. By clicking the arrows here, we can sort. We can sort by annual gross pay. We can sort by pay type. We can sort by a bunch of different things simply by clicking on the header. So it's extremely easy to use. And we also have a show help here. By clicking here, it'll show detail about every little item here. So you always have that available to you if you have any questions. I think that's it. Thank you very much for taking the time to view this presentation.